Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chowdhury. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 1st of October. Afghan forces regained control of northern Kunduz city from Taliban. India slams Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif's remarks on Kashmir at the UN. And India's BJP releases election manifesto for eastern Bihar province. And now for all the details. Afghan security forces have retaken control of Kunduz city from Taliban militants. The government has claimed the provincial capital of Kunduz had fallen into Taliban hands early this week, leading to heavy fighting between the two sides.
After 3 days of heavy fighting, the Afghan army is said to have retaken control of Kunduz city from Taliban insurgents. Afghan forces were supported by the US-led coalition troops during the operation. Authorities said the troops seized control of the city in an operation that began late on Wednesday. But hundreds continued to flee their homes as sporadic firing was still continuing between the two sides.
دیگه در یه اواخر وضعیت بسیار ناگوار هست که مردم خیلی به سطوح آمده، هزارها فامیل در و در و بیچاره جای ندارن، سرپناه ندارن، به دشت و چمن‌ها اینجا به سر میبرن.
Meanwhile, Afghan Chief Executive Officer Abdullah, who is attending the United Nations General Assembly, said there was an urgent need for NATO forces to stay in the country beyond 2016.
As far as I understand, the views of all those army generals and officers on the ground of resolute mission in Afghanistan, as well as our own security leadership. Security and military leadership is that maintaining a level of force beyond 2016 is necessary.
The fall of the strategically important northern city to the hardline Islamists early on Monday poses serious questions on the ability of the local forces to defend the country against a resurgent Taliban.
India on Thursday reacted strongly to the speech made by Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif at the UN General Assembly on the issue of Kashmir. India demanded that Pakistan should first vacate the area of Kashmir under its illegal occupation.
Pakistan should focus on deterrorizing the country before calling for demilitarization of Kashmir, India's foreign ministry said. In a strongly worded reply to Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's speech, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Vikas Swarup said in tweets that blaming neighbours was no solution to Islamabad's inability to control the spread of domestic terrorism. The Pakistan Prime Minister had in his address to the United Nations claimed that people of Kashmir were being oppressed by foreign occupants. He had also proposed a 4-point peace initiative with India, demilitarization of Kashmir and Siachen and formalization of border ceasefire. India, which used its right to reply at the UN, said it was regrettable that Pakistan was choosing to misuse the multilateral UN General Assembly session to distort reality and portray a false picture of the region. Indian analysts blamed Pakistan for scuttling talks to restore peace between the two countries.
Every time an initiative has been taken, like at Ufa, within 24 to 48 hours it's been shelved. Kashmir can only be discussed after all other issues like Siachen, Sar Creek, etc., water, etc. are resolved. Unless and until you have an appropriate environment, appropriate atmospherics, Kashmir issue cannot be taken up.
Some also felt that Pakistan was making desperate bids to internationalize the Kashmir issue despite losing international support.
Pakistan doesn't have much clout in the international community. Its reputation is very down. So nobody takes this statement seriously.
Even though the two sides have agreed to resolve disputes through discussions, the planned talks have been grounded after Pakistan offended India by consulting Kashmiri separatists ahead of talks.
Even as the Pakistan Prime Minister is in the US, the country's Muhajir community held a demonstration outside the United Nations to draw international attention to the extrajudicial killings of its members. The community has for long accused successive Pakistan governments and law enforcement agencies of discrimination.
Scores of Muttahida Qawmi movement activists assembled outside the UN on Wednesday to protest against atrocities committed against them in Pakistan.
माजरों को एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं कर रहे और दीवार से लगाया जा रहा है। रेंजर्स बुरी तरीके से किलिंग कर रही है और ये सिलसिला 1992 से चल रहा है।
Muhajir refers to the Urdu-speaking community mainly living in southern Sindh province, which migrated to Pakistan from India in 1947 following the partition. The protesters claimed that they were subjected to inhuman treatment by the law enforcement agencies.
हमारे कारकुनों, हमदर्दों और लोगों को जो है घर से, दफ्तरों से और जिस तरीके से उनको पकड़ा जा रहा है, अगवा किया जा रहा है, उनके साथ क्या हाल किया जा रहा है और कत्ल करके उनकी कहीं लाश दफना दी जाती है या उनको कचरे में नदी नाले में फेंक दिया जाता है, कईयों की आंखें निकाली हैं, हाथों पे जलाया है.
Activists and nationalist leaders from Pakistan's troubled southwestern province of Balochistan also held a separate demonstration at the UN.
India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP on Thursday released its manifesto for provincial elections in eastern Bihar. The crucial polls will be held in 5 phases beginning later this month.
The BJP pitched development as its main agenda as it released its manifesto for the poll-bound eastern state of Bihar. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said the vision document was a charter for development as his party wanted to change the fortunes of one of the most poorest states of the country. Blaming the provincial government for the backward status of Bihar, the party also promised more job opportunities for the youth. The BJP said the Grand Alliance cobbled up by some regional parties and supported by the Congress party was bereft of principles.
ये तीनों से ये पूछना कि पिछले 68 वर्षों में एक के बाद एक आपको अवसर मिला, इस पिछड़ेपन की आर्थिक स्थिति से बिहार को निकालने के लिए आप लोगों ने क्या किया है? और ये जो अवसरवादी सा गठबंधन बना है, जो इसमें पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, राजनीतिक स्थिरता, पॉलिटिकल कंसिस्टेंसी, उनमें से एक का भी गुण नहीं है.
Leaders of the Grand Alliance said the document had no vision for the province.
बिहार विकास के विस्तारीकरण की लड़ाई लड़ रहा है, सामाजिक न्याय के विस्तारीकरण की लड़ाई लड़ रहा है और ये मूलतः बिहार का विजन है. दुनिया की कोई भी शक्ति कोई और विजन लेके आएगी, बिहार के विजन पे वो हावी नहीं हो सकता.
The BJP is expected to give a tough fight to the Grand Alliance led by Provincial Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. The party, which has not announced its chief ministerial candidate, is contesting in 160 of the 243 seats. It has also stitched together an alliance with the smaller parties. The results of the multi-phase vote will be announced on November 12.
Member countries of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation or SAARC underline the need for increased cooperation to bring about rapid development in the region. The decision was taken at a meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly.
Leaders of the 8-member SAARC met in New York on the sidelines of the 70th session of the UN General Assembly and discussed matters of regional importance. Foreign ministers of the member countries discussed among other issues the SAARC satellite which Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had pledged in June for the benefit of the member countries. The SAARC comprises Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka.
The first one pertained to the offer of the SAARC satellite, which as you all know was made by Prime Minister Modi at the SAARC summit in Kathmandu. We sought early concurrence of member states who have to provide details of their requirements. It was agreed that India could go ahead with this project even if all the states did not want to be a party to it.
The leaders also reviewed the progress of the SAARC Disaster Management Center or SDMC that was set up in October 2006. It is aimed at serving the SAARC member countries by providing policy advice and facilitating capacity building services including strategic learning, research, training, system development and exchange of information for effective disaster risk reduction and management in South Asia.
Moving on to some news from Bangladesh. A special tribunal in Dhaka have issued death warrants for 2 convicted war criminals. The move came after the Supreme Court released the full text of upholding the capital punishments of BNP leader Salahuddin Qadir Chowdhury and Jamaat-e-Islami leader Ali Ehsan Mohammad Mujahid. The duo has been granted 15 days to file an appeal. If the review petition is also rejected by the apex court, the convicts are eligible to seek presidential clemency. The duo was awarded death penalty by the International War Crimes Tribunal in 2013. They were accused of committing crimes against humanity during the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971. Even as the future of the cricket ties between India and Pakistan hangs in the balance, PCB chief Shahryar Khan has expressed hopes of reviving the tournament. Following the recent tensions along the border, the Indian Cricket Board had hinted that it might pull out of the tournament scheduled for end of this year.
Pakistan Cricket Board or PCB chief Shahryar Khan on Thursday said that he was hopeful of resuming cricket ties with India, which has been put under back burner for years. He said this ahead of an expected meeting between PCB and the Board of Cricket Control for India or BCCI in Dubai this month.
We have signed with India this MOU that we will play 6 series, both India and Pakistan. And the Pakistan series so far is in UAE. We've signed on the dotted line that we will play this, and the first of the series will be in UAE in December. Now, this is an agreement between us, and I feel that the BCCI should honor that agreement.
The current political tension between two countries has cast a shadow on the prospect of the bilateral series. Both countries are scheduled to play 6 series under the 2015 to 2023 Future Tours program, subject to clearance from Indian government. The two sides have not played a full test series since Mumbai terror attacks in 2008 carried out by militants from Pakistan.
Bollywood's fashion icon Kangana Ranaut, who is currently basking under celluloid success, has donned a new hat altogether. The actress turned designer for an international clothing line. Take a look.
Walking like a wind, digging down the house, she's a true nice skin. Never was a quitter, tasted like a raindrop. She's got the look. Everything's sky, serious out another when she's spinning me around. Kissing is the color, loving is the wild dog. She's got the look. 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 What in the world can make a bright girl so blue? With everything I'll ever do, I do for you.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Afghan forces regain control of northern Kunduz city from Taliban. India slams Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif's remarks on Kashmir at the UN. And India's BJP releases election manifesto for Eastern Bihar province. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter at SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.